Hello. Drakemen. Drakemen are a race of winged humanoid dracomorphs. Infamous for their greed and atrocities they commit on other races, especially Adamites and other life-birthing wild races, both of mammal and wampus creature stock, whose women they kidnap and enslave while subjecting them to what is essentially a fate of worse than death. Not in the way you think. Basic information. Anatomy. Drakemen are dracomorphs, specifically squamous dracomorphs, meaning they possess 6 limbs, a pair of legs, arms, and wings in the case, and are egg-laying aminotes with scaly skin. They are 8 feet tall, with slightly barrel-shaped body, thick legs, and thin, long tail. In contrast to their legs, their arms are thin, and both types of limbs end with something resembling an eagle's feet. Albeit the legs have 2 major joints, the knee and the secondary ankle. The wings are, while rather large, are still too small for unaided flight and are primarily used for thermoregulation, maybe some gliding at best. They possess scales that are flat in front, making their heads look like a cross between a human and a turtle, and these heads end in 2 small horns at the back. Their scales are small, triangular, and slightly metallic in appearance, as well as greenish-brown in color. Magical traits. While they are warm-blooded, their body temperature is lower than Adamites at 35 degrees Celsius. Besides that, they have a complex regeneratory ability. They possess special blast cells resembling stem cells that accumulate in places of grievous ones and become tumors. Then their special system for transforming tumors back into healthy cells kicks in. It should be noted that in many cases an intensive regimen of care is needed unless they want the regenerated body parts come out severely deformed. Genetics and reproduction. They have Z-wool sex determination system, which means that mice are homozygotes and females are heterozygotes. Males produce an egg every week, and if they have a long pleasure-based copulation within 3 days of laying, the round, thin-crusted egg is fertilized and will hatch after 3 months. Growth rate and stages. They hatch a bit more developed than humans, as they can walk just after hatching, albeit without any grace. The childhoods are shorter than human, as they start puberty at age 7, but their adolescence is much longer, ending as they stop growing bigger at age 27, after which they are biologically adults. Dietary needs and habits. They are near-obligate carnivores. Behavior. The defining aspects of Drakeman mites are greed, aggression, and humility. A Drakeman is never stated, as they always need more. Riches, slaves, power, both material and supernatural, strengths, abilities, you name it. And the Drakeman will always want more of it. Drakeman is also always angry, which makes him hostile, and while this hostility is fully subsumed by loyalty and friendship towards his society, it will be directed towards others and outsiders. However, Drakeman is fully aware of her weakness and will act with that weakness taken into consideration. From these 3 pillars comes ambition. Drakemen are always on the road to improvement and rise in social status. Common mistake is that the Drakemen, as reptiles, have no emotions. First off, dracomorphs are not actual reptiles. Second, even reptiles have the full gamut of emotions. Additional information. Social structure. Natural Drakemen societies are matriarchal, with large families led by older females who are leaders and laborious in traits that can be performed at home. Mice are hunters and warriors. Also, the base requests are much larger than Adamite, being around 500 people max. Subraces. There are 3 subraces of Drakemen: Mercurial, Salty, and Sulfurous. Mercurial Drakemen are a sea-dwelling race, with females being fishermen and males being pirates, in addition to their natural gender roles, which are much less strictly a part of their life. While they are infamous for their brutality, they are also the race that creates geldings the least, ironically considering their name, possibly due to aversion to slavery. They are slightly smaller than average for a Drakeman and have slightly brighter skin. Salty Drakemen are native to Saharan descent, Desert, they are relatively peaceful compared to other Drakeman races and are mostly traders. However, they still perform raids on other races and create geldlings, even if they usually prefer to trade. They tend to have darker skin than average for a Drakeman. Sulfurous drakemen are native to the European continent and tend to be what people think drakemen are. Barbarian bandits from the mountains, ready to make your daughter and wife into a sword or a plow. And while they are not just living in the mountains, they fit the stereotype to a T. Metallic arts. Metallic arts are a minor magical tradition that only drakemen can perform. It uses the practitioner teeth, which are coated with specific classical metal as a conduit to perform elemental infusion. More specifically, infusion of metal elements arceus, specifically metal that the tooth is coated with. It has three forms, each with additional effect. Path of Mercury gives the practitioner ability to project his mind into an infused object. Its primary and most famous use is the creation of geldings. Remains of mammalian and vampus white races that have been infused and then reforged into living tools. They are dead inside, lacking the will to defy their masters, which is horrifying as the transformation is most likely irreversible. Path of Sulfur gives the practitioner ability to infuse their essence, that is, their traits, onto an inanimate infused object. Path of Salt gives the practitioner ability to grant infused object his physical health. That means that if the object will suffer damage, the practitioner will take the damage from the object onto themselves, and if not damaged too much, not completely broken in half, the infused object will be repaired, while the practitioner will be weakened proportionally to the damage that happened to the object. This can kill the practitioner if damage to the infused object is too great. Facial characteristics. A Drakeman's face is described as half turtle, half human. It is flat, with nearly non-distinguished nose, as they do not have secondary palate, that has almost vertical nostrils. The mouths, unlike the ones, have both soft lips and a set of elongated triangular teeth that have at least 72 per jaw, and they grow new ones through their entire lives, like sharks. Graphic origin and distribution. They are found predominantly in northern Africa and Europa of Erdo. Symbiotic and parasitic organism. The salty drakeman subrates has domesticated kimbles. The domestic kimbles are called solfies. Also, many use a species of holometabolic dracomorph called stalker as mounts. Civilization and culture. Living tradition. Males usually take on the name of their mother and add first syllable of the father's name, while the females take the name of one of their female ancestors 5 generations removed had. However, among the peculiar Drakemen, both genders take the 5 generation route of naming. In all three subraces, the man takes the family name of his wife. Eutadias. Generally, Rotund Basil Muscula is the way to go with them, regardless of gender. The gender differences are in facial features, with females being handsome by having round facial features, while women are commonly when their faces possess sharpness. Gender ideas. The ideas of gender for Drakemen are wise, justly proud, and compassionate female, and a strong, courageous, and ambitious male. 9 language groups and dialects. They have simple speaking apparatus that are capable of I, U, and E and F vowels, but are also capable of using S, Z, Sh, Ż, L, E, as well as M and N consonants. They perform most forms of grammatical change of words via tonality. Common etiquette rules. Most of the etiquette is based in harsh, sudden changes in facial expression, which are dependent on the occasion. The specious relations and assumptions. They tend to be disliked to outright reviled by mammalian and vampus races for their frequent rights for female slaves to mate into geldlings. But they are also not liked by other dracomorph races, as while dracomorphs cannot be made into geldlings, they have riches that the drakemen can steal. The only white races that they do not have extreme negative reactions tend to be magical races, as they can neither be made into geldings and are too powerful to be raided, but can be great trading partners. Besides that, they are often on good terms with chromatics, and within Drake societies there are many cults that view the chromatics as manifestations of the divine.